Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and today we wanted to talk about health anxiety.
So we are currently doing some research for Mum's new book. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But
Yeah,
anyway, Hope with Anxiety. And and there is such thing as health anxiety, and I think a lot of people worry about, or a lot of people suffer with it. I don't know.
I think a lot of people can have it in very, very mild forms, a bit like any mental illness.
There's like a big spectrum.
Oh, there's a big spectrum.
When you're on like so obviously everyone's heard of like a hypochondriac, but when I don't know, it doesn't sound like a nice word, but when you're on like the high end of the scale, like they call it hypochondria, don't they?
Yeah.
Where you literally anything you think there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite easy to think there's something wrong.
I can totally get how that could happen, because you hear about all these things. Oh, someone had a headache and just collapsed and died. Don't you?
Maybe we share too many stories.
Yeah, maybe we read too many of these stories, and I can totally get it. But it's when it takes over your life. I watched a documentary with a lady. She went to the doctors about 3-4 times a week, and the doctor knew her and knew why she was coming, and her husband had to deal with it, and her husband, was like, no, I'm sure you're fine, but it was easier for him to kind of go along with it. He did what he could, but it was so like,
and also just
deep
in case
inside
there ever
her.
was something,
you never know.
You never know.
Ways to get over it?
I don't know, you'd have to see a specialist really, but I just think, I don't know, because actually I'm just going to put out there, sometimes when I think panic attacks can obviously, like, that's a big thing. So if you suffer from anxiety anyway and you suffer with panic attacks can feel, well, I've heard that they feel a little bit like heart attacks and things like that. So you can think that there's something wrong with your heart when you're having like panic attacks and stuff. And a lot of people say, oh, I think I've had a heart attack, but it's not, it's a panic attack.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I can see how things, like when you especially suffer with anxiety, like you can get things like pins and needles, and obviously a lot of headaches and stuff like that. There's quite a lot of physical symptoms with anxiety.
True.
So I feel like it would be easy to be confused, and people always say, oh, if you really think there's anything wrong, you should always see a doctor. So you're just
well, that was a long time coming. Anyway,
yeah, so I just think it's one of those things that it's so hard.
Yeah, and you hear about, there was like this guy, is it lupus? I'm not sure. And he had a cold. He just thought it was a cold and it ended up being lupus. Don't know, might have got that wrong, but it was this disease. But it's very few that actually that would happen to. Very minority that you would get a cold and it would end up being that.
Well, I think sometimes as well, people who suffer with health anxiety think that there's an issue when there's not.
True.
So you might feel like your arm feels funny,
but
you've got, I don't know, that you can't see. Because I get it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I get it. Because sometimes, because I've got quite bad eyes, sometimes I think that there's something wrong with my sight, but there's not. I just might be tired, or like there might be not something in my eye, but you know when sometimes it goes a bit blurry. It's easy to, but you just have to think, hang on a minute, is there actually?
Yeah. And
if you really think there is, this, obviously we're not saying don't go to the doctor because it's so important, but I think it's good for people to be aware of it, because I think it's quite, quite common.
And it's a big, and it's again to the extreme. It's a day-to-day consuming, night-to-night illness, and it can take over your life. I think it's just remembering that these things could be small, but they can also be humongous. Same with OCD. You could be a little bit OCD and it doesn't take over your day. You could be completely OCD and it's time consuming. So when people say they have these illnesses, it could be a little or it could be extreme. It should be taken very seriously either way. Yeah, that's what health anxiety is.
Yeah. If anyone suffers or would like to share some more insight, please do.
Oh yeah, we'd love to know more, because we're learning about it, and
we've watched a couple of documentaries, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it's always good to know other people's experiences.
Yeah, so let us know. We'd love to know what you know. then we will know.
Bye.
Bye.